Hey guys, I know this is probably really weird and you're wondering why this is here and what I'm doing. Um, why am I, does this video exist and texting, like, I want to share something with you and I think it would be agony, just in words, on a screen. Also, this is like in a weird time of the night, but, um, I've been kind of dwelling on something for the past 2 days. And I just had this awesome experience. And I think it made my year. And I just wanted to share it with you guys and maybe give you guys some encouragement about it. And because I learned and just experienced God in just the most awesome way. Um, and also at the end, I wanted to share a prayer request of mine with you guys because I think it's really important, and I really am kind of pushing for this, and I just think that having you guys in on it would just mean the world. So let me start from the beginning. This week was a lot of you know that I go to Emmanuel. A lot of you go to Emmanuel. This week was our VBS, Vacation Bible School. And Vacation Bible School, besides Broadway, which isn't happening anymore, VBS is the highlight of my year every year. I love just getting to love on kids and just being Jesus to them. And I love the songs. I love the fact that you can feel God's presence in the building. I mean, it's awesome. But this year was a little bit different for me. I was a lead shepherd as opposed to a support shepherd like I had been in the past, where I would just help out, lead the kids around, just keep an eye on them, be fun, and engage them. This year, I had a lot more responsibilities as far as taking them where they need to go, keeping track of all of them, and it was quite honestly a little bit stressful and a little bit nerve-wracking for me. Once I got into it, it was okay, but I didn't know if I was ready. Apparently, I was, and I'll get to why in a little bit. But in being a lead shepherd, you also just become a lot more aware of the fact that you have a lot more influence and power in terms of maybe introducing Jesus to kids who are coming here because their parents have nowhere else to put them, coming to church for the first time, or going through hard times. And you kind of realize that you need to be more aware of kids and how they're doing and where they're at, and just kind of managing and possibly allowing the Holy Spirit to work in these kids' lives. And that was also very nervous for me. But this whole week was just awesome. But I'll start with Monday, the first day. So we have this like fence where like all the different grades and color teams line up. And I was second grade blue, so I had like 7, 8-year-olds. And I'm there, and we've had a couple kids so far, and I have my support shepherds with me, and I'm feeling good. And a woman who I know pretty well. I know her kids, and she sits like right in front of us on church on Sundays. She comes over to me with this other woman and this little girl. And she starts telling me about this little girl and how the other woman who she's with apparently is babysitting her in the mornings or something like that, to where she was now in her care by consent of her parents or whatever. And her choice was to bring this little girl to VBS. And she started telling me about the little girl. And for me, suddenly things got very real, because she came up to me and she said that this little girl, her name is Mikayla. And she said that her parents were either just going through divorce or just had gotten out of a divorce, or just finalized one. And okay, so this is a kid who we really want to love on this week. And she said, well, you're going to have to really watch out too, because Mikayla, she told me that her family, she comes from a very, very, very strict atheist background, to where all of the adults in her life are very, very strict atheists. And that made me kind of breathe like that. I was like, okay, so we have this little girl who might have a hurtful situation, and on top of it, her entire belief system is directed away from Jesus. And I was kind of nervous for her, and in the back of my head, throughout the rest of the day, I just kind of kept looking at her and watching her, because I was just told to really watch her, and I just see what maybe was gonna happen, because I wasn't sure if she was gonna all of a sudden just hate everything because she just felt like she was taught to, or if she was just gonna be really confused and I needed to maybe say something about what was going on. She did seem kind of quiet and shy, like everything was very new. I'm pretty sure that had to have been the first time she was at a church, or one of the first important times she was at a church. And I just felt for her. And as a lead shepherd, every day we get a clipboard with different sheets, an organization sheet, a schedule sheet, and a prayer request sheet. And I remember putting her down on the prayer request sheet, just asking for God to just work in her life, and if anything, plant the smallest seed that will lead to something in the future. I just kind of thought about it and was like, yeah, we're going to pray for this little girl because it's very important. And those prayer requests, they go out to kind of the staff who oversee VBS, and then they set up more specialized like prayer teams. And so you really, felt like you were backed up by the power of prayer. And so I was like, okay, let's really put this out there and see what happens. Little did I know, and I don't think it was because of me, but I find it, I don't know. Also, I have to shave. Anyway, I find it just kind of interesting that next Tuesday morning, all the shepherds and people in charge and Bible story leaders, we all have a meeting in the morning. We're all having breakfast. And the leader who's in charge of VBS, her name is Kathy. And Kathy was talking about how kids now will probably, because it's like day 2, now they're going to really start getting comfortable, and they're really going to start maybe opening up a bit more. And this is when we really want to showing them Jesus' love and God's love, and at least try to the smallest glimmer, if we can, about just leading them in and bringing them into just the glory of God, which is just so good. Anyway, and she brought up Mikayla. She brought up this little girl, and she referenced that I had put her down a prayer request, but also she kind of opened my eyes to the fact that she was really pulling for this girl too, and she was aware of this girl, and she had made the prayer teams aware of this girl, and that if there are 400